Hello, family. Here's a picture book story. This is 1991 up in the Finger Lakes, up near Ithaca and Watkins Glen, Seneca Lake, Cuba Lake. Anyway, these were all the kind of streams and waterfalls. And this is the Grandfather David of the Iroquois showed me this. Really sacred place, right? And this is where, see, one of the problems of having a rainbow gathering, I got hoodwinked into doing a rainbow gathering in Ithaca in 91. And, hoodwinked. It was fun. I like doing it. You'll see. Anyway, so there was no place because you have to do it in a national forest. New York State has none, just state forests, because rich people own everything. So, and out in the West, man, the government owns everything. That's why those people are so pissed. Anyway, so Grandfather David took me up there. It was about 1,000 acres, and it had this, and forests, and meadows, and here it is again, and places where they kind of came together. And this is where we did a rainbow gathering of about 20,000 people. And it really wasn't a national, but it was like off of 81, going from one city to the other. We were right in the middle of Grateful Dead concerts, and they came. Anyway, so again, this is the water that was all around, and what I played I was there for about 4 years. I was at Cornell. Now, so I jump real quick, bingo, like 6 years later. No, this was actually... like almost 10 years before I went to Ithaca. This is Asheville, North Carolina in 1979, something like that. And I went on a road trip with a buddy, and we were just looking at stuff because, when I was younger, I took a lot of road trips, and this was like, let's take it. And I'll tell you that story one day. But this was Asheville when nothing was, it was dead. There's supposed to be a skyscraper on top of this building. It's now the arcade. And this is a Forest Service road up there in the Blue Ridge. And now we jump, 12 years into the past, and this is Negril. No, not Negril. This is, what's the name of this place? Tortola, right? And this is where me and the girl with the scar met, down in this little city, down on the coast, right over there. And about 15 years later, I brought my love of my life, Rita, the Meter Maid. That song that the Beatles did, that's about her. Anyway, Tortola was a volcanic island in these mountains, right? These mountains that came down to these amazing beaches. Couldn't get there from anywhere except if you had a boat. So I used to hang out back in the day when I knew the Scar Girl here, and rich people would come in their yachts and get provisioned, and I would go, read their palms or do something to enamor myself. Oh, you should come along. And I said, I do massages too. And so, anyway, I used to get $300, $400, $500 a boat ride, maybe 3 or 4 days, maybe a week, by drinking champagne and having lobster. Anyway, so this is a place I hung out for, like I said, about a year. And I went home after the girl with the scar. I'll tell that story myself one day. But if you want to see it, just go on John Birmingham's channel and look for Dreamtime. That's why I became famous. Johnny made me famous. Johnny discovered me. Not really. Because, as you can see, I was already discovered way long time ago. And this is back in the early 80s, late 70s. This is Kiki Smith, world-famous artist. She's cooking in one of our dumpster dive restaurants. This was, what was that place? It was, Tin Pan Alley. That's what it was. And there's Michael Savage. He's pretty famous. This guy's Israeli artist, pretty famous. This girl was like Joan Jett's buddy.